time for the nitty-gritty. Conversations get real live, it's time for the nitty-gritty. The revolution's not televised, it's time for the nitty-gritty. Reaching out to your conscious mind, it's time for the nitty-gritty. More than talking and taking action, it's time for the nitty-gritty.
Yo! My bad, I did. What's going on, everybody? About to be that time. Actually, it's 8 p.m. right now. Yeah. This is a little bit of dirt. Black Pashmina. Yeah. Dope little cut. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jussie Epic.
It's your girl, Katniss.
And together we are
The Nitty
Gritty. You gotta do that one again.
Well, you didn't say it like you always do. But
Was it on me?
it was.
Oh, okay. Look, it's your boy, Jussie Epic.
It's your girl. It's your girl, Katniss.
Together we are the Nitty Gritty. We just can't get right tonight. We're gonna keep it moving. Look, happy to have you guys tonight. Got a couple of things to talk about. Lots been going on in the media, the news. A couple of things I know we both want to get on that. What's up, everybody? Joining live right now on IG. We appreciate you. What's up, everyone on Facebook joining live right now? We appreciate you. Look, first thing we're gonna talk about a couple things tonight. We're gonna finalize this Jussie Smollett episodic. Smollett, whatever this band name is. He didn't get enough attention. I think he got what he wanted.
And for those of you not native to the DMV area, Bama is definitely a word here.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't say Joker. This Joker.
Hey, Bama Joker, it's the same thing, right? Oh snap! I thought I saw that, but I thought I was like bugging. Thanks, Chris. So yeah, and then prayers. Before we go any further, prayers to the to Nipsey Hussle and his family. They saying that he possibly didn't make it. He was just shot 6 times. For you guys that maybe you're not in hip hop, Nipsey Hussle is a LA-based rapper. I know that in his history, he's a Crip, kind of like Snoop Dogg. They're saying that he may not have made it. So hopefully, he'll survive that. So I know that you guys will be keeping us in tune with those updates. We got my man Marvin on. What's up, Mr. Mackey? So yeah, we'll go on with that. But also, so we're gonna talk about Jussie. We're gonna get into this Bill Cosby versus Cardi B. I've been seeing a lot of funny pictures. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't laugh really good at it. But at the end of the day, this is not really a laughing matter, right? So we're gonna talk about that. Also, want to get into the NAACP Image Awards. Just happened yesterday, right? Yep. So a lot of good things happened there. Some interesting points you brought up. We're gonna get into. And then, Pastor Paul, what's up?
Yeah, hey, Pastor Paul. One last thing, you guys. For all of you guys that follow us on IG and Facebook, thank you. Just thank you.
Oh, yeah, really.
On IG, we almost hit 100K on one of our posts. So that's a big deal for us because we only have 600 plus followers and we're trying to build our following. So just thank you again for always supporting us. It means the world. Yeah,
we really do appreciate that. And so if you like the show, you like the content, for those that don't know how these things get put on, the money initially really comes out of our pocket.
Yep.
And what we try to do is boost our followers up. We won't dilute our message in the things we say for it, but what we want to do is boost our followers up, because as we boost our followers up, it helps us get sponsors, and we in turn use that money to get better lights, the background, all the stuff you see, and who knows, if y'all love us that much, it might allow us to quit our jobs one day. So, but for the most part, it allows us to stay up. That's how we get black publications like this going. So yeah, I appreciate it, Paul. You couldn't have said it better. Hashtag support black-owned businesses, black-owned shows. Hashtag TNGS all day. I love it. Yeah. So everybody, I keep that same energy, man, because that's basically what we need to get where we're trying to go.
Right.
So yeah. So let's jump into it. we're gonna talk Jussie Smollett first, right? So for you guys that don't know, we talked a little bit about this last week, but then the update that followed Monday, it was either Monday, no, it was Tuesday, because I remember I had meetings with clients. I remember what client office I was at. So it came up, Jussie Smollett. They dropped all 16 charges against him, right?
Congrats to Jussie.
So congrats that, he didn't get a jail. Because, like, the way, my initial thought was, like, dang, like, that's crazy they attacked him. I had, like, I was feeling sorry for him. And then my next thought was, when stuff was coming out, like, man, that do sound a little fishy. And then after that, it was like, but I don't think the man need to go to jail for it, right? Because Ryan Lockley had already set the precedent that, no one's going to go to jail for lying about getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? Especially nothing didn't happen, right? So it's not like nobody got hurt. I mean, should he be embarrassed? Should he pay restitution? Sure. But...
And Ryan Lockley is still an athlete. He was just on Big Brothers. I mean...
Yeah.
So my understanding his career is still...
doing just fine, right? Despite all that bull crap. He just said he went to, he went into lockup, all that good stuff. What's up, Nate? Appreciate you being on. So, I didn't think he should go to jail. So when they dropped on the charges, I was happy. I was like, all right, cool, because he didn't need to go to jail. But something that did let me know that, okay, he did something, or something that didn't sit well, because it wasn't a plea deal. We all know that. But what we do know is the stuff he didn't say in his little speech. He talked about, this is not how his, I know that's not what it is, because this is not his mom's child wouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. He said that he wanted to move on with his life. He was saying, like, yeah, like I said, I didn't lie, yada, yada, yada. But I think something that stuck out to me was what he didn't say, which is, where are I want my attackers brought to justice. Didn't hear none of that. Didn't hear him say he's going to sue the city of Chicago for, defaming him, which that's going to come up again later on in the conversation. Didn't hear none of that, right? It was very much, he stayed to, I want to get past this. Now, me personally, black man, you know what I'm saying? If I get attacked in the streets, right? Somebody beat me up, pour bleach on me, trying to put a noose on me, and y'all hear me on this podcast, on this show every week, talking my stuff. Y'all already know. I'm going to be like, nah, we need to bring these jokers, to justice. I'm going to be running my mouth. I'm going to be on my fair count. I'm going to have my fist up. I'm going to be stomping my feet at somebody's courthouse until they do right by me. My man is like, I just want to move on. You know what I'm saying? So that let me know he did something.
That let me know everything I need to know.
What he didn't say told me everything I need to know. And the fact that he's just trying to move on. And they're still investigating the letter. I mean, I'm hoping this is the end of the Jussie Smollett episodic. I'm tired of it. But we'll see.
Some people say he did it because he wanted to be relevant. He felt like his career wasn't as relevant as it was when he first was popping with Empire. But to my understanding, prior to Empire, he really wasn't popping anyway. So his sister was. We've been knowing her for a while, but he wasn't. So I'm bringing that up because it's just like, where do we draw the line as people when it comes to this fame? Like, why is fame everybody's main end goal? And when I say that, I mean comparing it to people who are wealthy, right? Like, we know millionaires that live around DC all the time, but you don't know who they are. And then there are some people who claim they just want to be wealthy, but in reality what they want is they want to be famous. Because
there's people making less money on reality TV. In some instances. I know there's some making a lot of money. But there's some people making less money on reality TV. They go goo-goo gaga for that person. And like you said, there's millionaires every day just walking around and nobody's saying anything. So who knows? Going to Facebook, Nate Altar said, that's my brother. What's up? He said they don't need to let him slide. Gave us a couple of fists. And then he said he want this, talking about Jussie, he want this situation silenced. Laugh out loud. And that's true, but that's because he dirty. But talking about fame, because like I said, we weren't going to spend a lot of time on Jussie. I mean, we know what that is. I want to move to the Cardi B versus Bill Cosby kind of thing, right?
Okay.
So for you guys that don't know, I know you've seen the memes on IG and Facebook, but what's been going on is Cardi B decided, or not she decided, but somebody brought up some old stuff from her past, right? And they had some videos of her saying that she's done some grimy things to guys. In one video, she describes how she used to lure guys to hotel rooms after stripping with with the promise of having sex, and then she would drug these guys and then rob them. And in another video, she was talking about like the grimy stuff she used to do to guys that she used to date. If a dude cheated on her or did her wrong, she would get them drunk, drug them,
pretend
it's a threesome with another woman. But then in actuality, it's a threesome with a trans woman. And these are men who are straight, so forcing them into that situation where they don't want to lay down with that individual. Yeah, and then what she would do is she would record it and then be like, yeah, I had the training. Or at least that's the term she used. I don't think that community likes the term. But they'll be like, she had the trans woman, give this person oral or something of that nature. And then, and sometimes she'll blackmail the dude to get more money out of him. Mm-hmm. So this is like some crazy stuff. So the two arguments I've seen in Cardi B basically break down to one or two camps. I know there's some in between. On one hand, we hear people saying, well, rappers get celebrated every day, male rappers, that is. They get celebrated every day for having a past life of crime. Mm-hmm. We've done that with most recent President's Award recipient, Jay-Z, at the National Image Awards, right? He talks about in his music, he elaborates on stories that he's seen in the hood, some of the stuff we've done, and we celebrate them. We do it with Gucci Mane, we've done it with T.I., we've done it with Master P, NWA, Tupac, all these guys, we at some point cherish them because they came from a life of crime. Rick Ross has tried to solidify himself as someone that's been in the streets. Drake tries to be hard, even though I've seen the boxing clips. He's soft. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Nate said, wow, I never knew about the trainee part. That's crazy. Yeah, and here's the thing. This is that hearsay. We have video of her saying this herself, right?
Well, wrong is wrong. Rape is wrong no matter how you cut it with a knife. Whether it's with drugs, i.e. Bill Cosby, whether it's revenge because you upset, rape is wrong, male or female. I do believe we are in the era right now of the Me Too movement and women empowerment. Mm-hmm. And so I think that right now this whole time's up for guys is kind of like on the table right now. So while Cardi B is wrong, probably should get the same be held accountable the same way as Bill Cosby and somebody else. She probably won't, because right now this is women's time, just like at one point in time in history it was men's time. And that's just how it is in life. I don't make the rules of society, but generally there's someone's time. Just like right now, I feel like it is time for all black cast, black actors and actresses is their time right now. That I don't know that it's going to last, or maybe 10 years from now it's going to not be a black actress's time. The point I'm trying to make is that in life, there are a certain time for certain movements where people get just due, and unfortunately, there's time when those movements are taking place where those on the receiving end generally don't have the same leverage due to race or gender or what so have you. I don't make the rules, but that is my 2 cents.
No, I agree with you. Wrong is wrong, and rape is rape, and I think that, I understand with the women's empowerment, the Me Too movement and all that, but, wrong is wrong, and I just think it's interesting that you have someone, I guess the only difference I see right now between Bill Cosby and Cardi B is she doesn't have a list of guys coming out accusing her, right?
Right, and the thing
but she's accusing herself.
Well, the thing is, they say that the reason why Cardi B is different than Bill Cosby is because she was a woman that wasn't in power. Kind of like looking at it from a white empowerment, how people can say you could be black, but you're you could be racist, but you can't be racist because you're black. You're not in a position of power. They were saying she was a woman who was poor, so she was using these men for the come up, and they kind of knew what it was, and it was a mutual agreement. Whereas Bill Cosby was in power, they were saying that he didn't necessarily need to do that because he was already in power and he could have had a mutual agreement without any kind of drug.
See, I don't agree with that though, because
that's the argument that I've seen.
Yeah, but it's a silly argument to me, right? It's because, let's flip it. Let's say a regular male on the streets starts doing that to women, right? Let's review the scenario. Let's say a guy drugs women at the club, right? Maybe he's a bartender. He's a good looking bartender. He lures those women back to his place because he's good looking. Mm-hmm. let's say, and not even drug him there. Let's just say he just lures him back because he's a good-looking guy, right? He lures him back to his room, then he drugs him, and then he steals their money. Doesn't have sex with him, steals their money. In the time of Me Too right now, what do y'all think would happen to that dude? He'd be up out of there. Or let's make it even closer to the Cardi B situation. If it was Michael B. Jordan that has this backstory, used to be a model type thing, and then when he was a model, he was luring girls back, wasn't sleeping with them, just stealing their money. Michael B. be out of there. If it was you name any celebrity out there, it don't matter who right now. If y'all heard that XYZ pretty, good looking, male actor at one point in his career was taking his good looks to charm women to a bedroom where he wouldn't have sex with them and stole their money, what would y'all be calling him? You say he's an animal, right? Well, and that he's horrible and he's this and he's that. Get him up out of there, fire him up off his show.
Well, here's the thing.
Yes. And I like Cardi B.
No. Yes,
I feel like she's entertaining.
Point, like I said, right now we're in the movement, the Me Too movement time. So it's about
female empowerment. He's done for.
So it's about female empowerment. So I do believe that the guys will be out of there. I just feel like with Cardi B, this is what I'm going to say, and I know we may go there, but this is what happens when you glorify a certain kind of persona, right? Mm-hmm. This is what happens when you glorify, oh, she was from the hood and she came to something, and there's no kind of intention, or from what I can see, no kind of verbalization to say we want to, I don't want to say change who she is, but or even her self accountability. I'm no longer in the hood, so I want to do better. I want to act better. I want to, be in a different space, right? I'm not saying you have to change who you are, but this is what happens when we are enamored with twerking and just, you get what I'm trying to say without what I'm trying to say. Like, this is what happens. Because when you see somebody like Michelle Obama brought to the table, people are like, well, she's boring, she's a politician's wife, she's educated, there's nothing fun about her. Yeah, we love Michelle, but she's different. And I'm not saying you have to be a Michelle, because they're both extreme opposites of the spectrum, but what I am saying is that in these kind of scenarios, when you glorify and you celebrate that, this is what happened. This is not going to be the only skeleton that Cardi B has. Mm-hmm. She was a past stripper. Nothing wrong with that. People make money from that. But her life wasn't easy. Her life was hard, so it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. But then on the flip side, you look at Mary J. Blige. Her life wasn't easy, but you ain't never heard Mary J. Blige come out with all this stuff. Yeah. Because she wanted better for herself. That's the difference.
And I think it's like, you have to draw the line somewhere, right? Now, I've been pretty consistent in with the whole cancel culture or whatever. I think it's gotten a little bit, crazy. People talking about canceling, just hilarious because she made a mistake. I think, and the client, and I've said this before, Charlamagne the Great says this a lot too on his show. The Great, I said the Great, didn't I say? Charlamagne the God. I'm thinking about the real Charlamagne from history, my bad. But anyway, Charlamagne the God, or CT the God, he says this a lot, but it's true. Today's society with social media and all that, Michael Little could never become Malcolm X, right? Yeah. And because those that know the story of Malcolm X, you should just read a book, but he didn't have a squeaky clean life. He landed himself in prison for a reason, because he was robbing people and all of that, and then on top of that, he was sleeping with white women back in the 1950s or 60s, whatever time frame that was. That was a big no-no. But besides that, you get what I'm saying, he was wilding. And then he becomes, he goes to prison, he converts and everything, and now he's a different kind of man. In the climate we live in, they wouldn't let him get past the fact that he was messing with white women or robbing people. Whatever the case, something in his past would have held him back. But the difference between Malcolm X and then even some of the celebrities they come after is if you show, a decade plus of growth or doing something the right way or changed behavior, right? Not just talking a good game, but obvious changed behavior. There should be some type of, some leeway given to that. Like Kevin Hart with the gay comments, right? He had 10 years of changed behavior, and you bring up 10-year-old tweets. That's crazy to me. But when it's something like recent, and we don't see changed behavior, we see you making money off maintaining poor behavior. That's when it's kind of like, you should get canceled. Like R. Kelly. I understand why people are saying cancel him, because R. Kelly's he's never demonstrated changed behavior. Right. And we see constantly in his music
and he tries to defend the behavior at that.
Yeah, like there's a song that he has, a song I used to like a lot. It was called
I Confess.
It was one. No, I'm talking about the song Customer that he had with Raheem DeVaughn. That's from the DMV, right? he had a song called Customer, and then the remix that he did with R. Kelly, R. Kelly says in there, he's like, I got that, he makes a comment about, come hang out with me, girls, something about, I got that good lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an obvious, you know, bite towards the fact that he peed on a girl or was accused of it. Like, he's throwing it in the public's face.
And Cardi B is
so
young.
I can understand why people would say cancel R. Kelly.
But she's young, so I don't expect her change behavior to come overnight. But I'm saying that, you know, this is what happens. Like, like people are enamored with her. And the thing that also I like Cardi B, but another thing I don't like is the fact that she gets up on media and they have these interviews and the girl can't speak. She cannot hold a conversation, and it's just like, where's her team? Like, where? Because you see, when Beyonce wasn't able to speak, she wasn't doing interviews because she knew it would probably tarnish her image. You got to be intentional about where you have strengths and weaknesses. If you know you're not a good public speaker, you probably shouldn't do that many interviews. But if you know you're a good dancer, you highlight that. You got to be intentional about where you fall on the spectrum of your gift, and just being completely honest.
Yeah. I see what you're getting at with that, but I mean, it's just something about. I just feel like when we create these standards, there has to be some kind of universal, you know, line that we trend down when talking about those things, right? You know, if you're gonna look into somebody's past and say they did this, you know, you can't say, oh, we'll do it to men or black men or whatever the case is, right? And then you don't show the same type of energy across the board.
Well,
you know,
but do you think that's true? Because somebody intentionally dug up Cardi B, so they're trying to show the parallel of men and women. So I think that now it's adding to the conversation. Should we look into the past of women, and should they be held the same accountable as men? It hasn't maybe gotten to the same place.
If the law is the law, the law is the law. My thing is, I think where you draw the line is, if someone has, you know, years, you know, or a conscious effort of change behavior, right? Digging up their past does what, right? Because it's like, okay, yeah, you're looking at their past, but this person has moved on, right?
Yes.
Versus, bless you, I know the allergies is killing you, right? It's that time of the year, y'all. And then, but also, it's something about looking at someone's past when you see, like, the behavior hasn't changed. I mean, look at Donald Trump, right? But people look at his past, but we can see in his current that he seems to be, you know, acting the same. Oh man, that is sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. So Chris, thanks for updating us. Chris says sorry to interrupt, but he was pronounced dead 5 minutes ago. So prayers to Nipsey Hussle. I'm pretty sure this story is gonna be developing more throughout the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, prayers to Nipsey Hussle and his family. That is really sad because I'm talking about Victory Lap 2. Like, the projects he's been putting out recently were dope.
I haven't heard the projects, but I am saddened to hear that someone was shot and killed. That's
and from the report I had pulled up here, it was saying that a man was killed and 2 others were injured. I think this report was just showing him as one of the others injured. So that means at least 2 lives were taken. This is outside of one of his LA stores. So I'm pretty sure we'll be talking more about this. Probably not today because I want to get more information. But that's sad that he was taken out.
I want to raise one question to kind of conclude this conversation, but do you think that celebrities or people who are successful now, back in the day, maybe the reason why they are as successful is because there was no social media to dig up their past or to pry or force them to be a certain kind of image, whereas now, even the comment I made about Cardi B creating that standard, do you think that our generation is, unfortunately, we have to be role models, model citizens, because now there's the ability to pull up our past and us receive scrutiny. So I'm wondering if the standard for us today is very different compared to back in the day. Because back in the day, men were able to tap a girl in the butt and no repercussions. Men were able to you know, do what they were doing and there were no repercussions. But now with social media, we're able to kind of backtrack things. Because Jada Pinkett Smith said she was a drug dealer at one point. And, you know, you see now she's Will Smith's wife. She's refined. She has red table talk. But she said she was a drug dealer in Baltimore. Sometimes I think she should act like she's more hood than what she was. But neither here nor there. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that that today we don't have the same luxury of actually growing through just life, changing, maturing because of social media, whereas our counterparts who are in entertainment maybe had the ability. Because I do believe that people like a P. Diddy, you know, P. Diddy still got some thug kind of ways, right? But I believe that he's so powerful now and rich that he pays people to ensure that his image is projected in a certain light.
I mean, well, we know that happens, right? If you get enough money and wealth, it kind of shields you. But then at the same time, I think it has something to do with your personality to a certain extent, because Bill Cosby definitely had a lot of power and money, but that didn't stop him from taking him down, right? Michael Jackson had a lot of power and money, but that didn't stop them from trying to tarnish his legacy. You know, something that I agree with. I believe I think it's the comedian Ryan Davis said this about a lot of these situations, and I agree. It is tied to money. I think maybe they get to a point where maybe their money can't shield them as much. Maybe they don't have as much money coming in. Possibly, I don't know. Or maybe they stop paying off whoever they were supposed to pay off and stuff comes up. But it's becoming more evident these days that the love of money, that money itself, ain't nothing wrong with having a lot of money. Ain't nothing wrong with working hard every day to provide for your family and all that, right? Money is not evil, but the love of money is evil. When people like, I saw an old Cardi B interview. She's on Vlad TV. Shout out Vlad TV. And she was talking about how, you know, she was so hurt and she was so broke, she was so hungry. But, you know, I've had broke moments in my life, but in that, I'm not thinking to myself,
Let me go rob some.
Let me go lure a woman, an older woman to bed, and then I'm gonna take her money.
Yeah.
It's never been that bad that I'm like, I'm gonna do some callous stuff like that.
Devil's advocate, though. Do you think her being exposed to the stripper culture maybe help her formulate that kind of mindset, being that she's from New York? Because I feel like the mentality, if I'm a person from New York, is very different than the personality from somebody like a Memphis, Tennessee. It's gonna be different. Yeah, you're gonna have gangsters, but unfortunately, when you're in the city, like you have to hustle. And sometimes that's a measure to come from different things, and people are not gonna be nice, and you're gonna be out in the streets cold. Where I feel like when you from the South, you gotta hustle too. But I feel like people in the South is like, oh, you hungry? You know, let me feed you. Let me give you something. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the culture is just so different. I feel like you're more prone to receive a little bit of grace in the South and some help in some regard. But in the city, I feel like people like, yo, dog, you gotta grind out here the same way I'm grinding.
I mean, yeah, there's some folks that say that, you know, like coming from a certain area can have a little bit more hustle. But hustle will be defined as, you know, oh, I'm gonna take my hustle and I'm gonna go, you know, make some T-shirts. I'm gonna sell some fish plates or, you know, whatever. Hustle is not defined as doing harm to others to, you know, take care of yourself. That's not true hustling. And I don't know, why is this thing not working? Okay. Let me read Shantae's comment. She says, I do agree that social media has a negative impact on famous celebrities. However, the bottom line is, and I don't know why it will let me read the whole comment, but I'm pretty sure whatever you had to say was good, but it won't let me read the whole comment.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is. It says, however, the bottom line is your character will speak for itself.
I agree. It's not how you grow. It's how you grow from your past. I mean, yeah, I agree, but the thing is, we celebrate people who have yet to show evidence of wanting to grow, in my opinion. I like the people who are, and again, who am I to say who's worthy to be celebrated, right? I'm just a regular smuggler Joe over here. But we do celebrate those people who, to me, seem to be unwilling to grow because we think it's funny, it's fast, the twerk culture is cool.
It's how they get on.
Stripper culture is cool, it's funny, it's fun. Being fly is cool, labels is cool. But the person who's a regular smuggler entrepreneur that went on Shark Tank, who wears glasses, who may not have a Coca-Cola body is boring to the media. It's like, well, you know, so you get
I think people get caught. See, the thing is celebrities get caught into shock value, right? And then as a result, those people that follow celebrities feel like they have to impersonate that same shock value. But ladies, let me put y'all on some game real quick, right? You know, cousin Juan will put y'all on some game real quick. First of all, people been having sex since the beginning of time, okay? Dudes have been attracted to women since the beginning of time, and for a long time. And guess what? 50 years ago, when ladies was wearing skirts or dressing more modest, that didn't stop dudes from trying to spit they, or kick their game, right? When we see a lady out there dressed up really nice, pantsuit, professionally, whatever like that, regular size butts, keep in mind, Sir Mix-a-Lot put out a song about butts. I'm just being straight up, getting just the nitty gritty, right? He made a song about butts before we had fake butts coming out, right? Girls are going out here getting fake butts, getting breast augmentations and all that. But that never stopped, before women had that available to them, that didn't stop dudes from trying to holler at regular looking women. So what in the media has changed the perspective of women that lip fillers, big butts, augmented breasts?
It's social media. Because dudes are so thirsty on those pictures when they see the big butt, whatever.
But them same thirsty dudes are still messing with regular chicks. That's the thing.
And they're giving them the most attention. So then, you're right, but social media has a warped sense of reality. So the regular smuggler chick is looking like, dang, she's getting all the attention, looking like, voluptuous, looking like thotty body, whether she's a thought or not, she's looking all the attention. I want that attention too. I'm not getting that same attention. So let me go and change my persona to match her. And now you have all types of chicks, whether you a stripper, whether you work at a corporate America, posting all these angles to show butt because it's like the exception. Am I wrong or am I right? I'm telling you the truth. That's what's going on. People are changing who they are, what's innate to them, to try to garner likes. Because unfortunately, validation is then dictated off of likes and popularity on social media. I know people who are very popular on social media.
Shantae said, you right.
Yeah, I know people who are very popular on social media, but they broke in real life. My brother and I was just talking. It's a girl in Cleveland we know. She is huge on social media. The girl takes the bus. She don't got 2 nickels to rub together, but let her tell it. She look like she's a baller. She got Gucci and all of that on social media. It is a warped sense of reality, and unfortunately, adults play into it too. And we can't act like it's just teenagers, because a lot of adults say that, oh, it's just the millennials, it's just teenagers. No, it's church folks, it's grown adults, it's everybody is looking at a glass ceiling. They're looking.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're looking. While you're on point with everybody, that's what. Yes.
Thank you.
Everybody is looking at someone else's life, and they're thinking, oh, that life is more fantastic. That life is more fabulous. I have got to have that. Even when it comes to people who travel. Oh, they travel and they must have a lot of money. Little do we know, there are some people who manage their finances well and they travel, but then there are also a lot of people who just go out there and put it on the credit card and they got credit out the kazoo. You can't compare your life or dictate your decision based upon the perception of social media, because it's not true. You have to do what is best for you. And in order for you to even come to that kind of realization, it takes self-awareness, self-love. You have to really realize, what is best for me in my life? What kind of man or woman do I want to settle down with? Who do I want to be on social media? These are the kind of questions you really got to ask yourself.
And I think some people just need to pull away from it. It was interesting. There was I forgot the entertainer. He was talking about how it's weird when he's performing that. I think it was Lloyd.
Okay.
Lloyd. He went back on tour. He got a new album he dropped, right? And Lloyd was on concert. He said it's weird now when he's performing, because it's like nobody's really enjoying the concert. They're just all peering through their phone.
Yep, and they do like this.
Yeah, and
the whole time.
And I think it's interesting that with the phone thing, it's like I think we just need to get back to a place of being able to be present for things, right? People can't go on a dinner date without someone being on their phone. People can't go to a concert or enjoy music. And don't get me wrong, there's certain parts you might want to record, but I feel like the majority of the show should be you just being there present and enjoying the show. There used to be a time where pictures meant something, but they're so disposable now, right? Because people take pictures for everything, and now you don't even get a chance to tell somebody about a vacation because you were so thirsty to throw up you on vacation, kind of talking about this to the point you were at. You were so thirsty to put up this picture, that picture, whatever, and literally show your whole experience on IG Live or Facebook Live or Snapchat, all these different mediums as to sharing your experience. it's almost like you overshare. So I don't want you to call me and tell me about it because I'm gonna be like, oh no, I seen all the pictures on Facebook.
And assuming,
I pretty much got the whole thing.
And assuming the experience that you're sharing with the world is actually authentic.
Yeah,
we're not fabricating.
I remember it was I can't remember if it was a day party or a club. There was music playing. There was some girls there in the corner, and they were turning up for the cameras, right? And then the second that the cameras went off, they were all just looking at their phones. You know, they're having a good time. And I see this all the time, whether it's a ball game, just out and about. People are having a great time on camera or orchestrating or fabricating fun. And then when you really look at what they're doing, it's just like, y'all not having fun. Y'all not really out there playing soccer. You have a camera crew filming you. I even wonder if some of these folks are really working out because there's so much camera and picture and all that. It's just kind of like, you know, how about you just, you know, go work out. You know, now I understand there's some people that's what you do for a living. So there are some people out there, you put a lot of workout videos, but then that is how you make your money. But some of you, that's not how you make your money. You answer phones for a living, and you're putting up all these workout videos, and it's kind of like, you know, or you're not trying to make a business out of it. You didn't go get an LLC or a business license. You know, you didn't brand yourself or anything. You're just vain, and you want people to look at you. Half of y'all married.
Oh my. Well, I really just feel like,
and that was shade.
In this day and time, it bothers me because we do have so many young people that are looking up to the masses, and there's only so much parents can do, right? Yeah, you could be a good parent, but you can't monitor every single thing of your children's daily lives. And I feel like it's very, very important for you to explain to people perception from reality. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of people are just not in tune with reality. I know a lot of girls who really think, oh, I'm about to find me a baller type dude. He about to be working. We about to be happily married. He never gonna cheat on me. We about to get married. No big deal. I'm about to have this big ring, big house. And it's like, why? Like, people are literally enamored with like a fairy tale. I'm not saying that can't happen for somebody. But I am saying that the odds of that happening for, let's say, for 90% of women is not going to happen.
But yeah, I think the media of that time influenced these young ladies. So if you were born, if you're an 80s baby or even like a late 70s baby, maybe even early 90s, the media of that time were like movies, right? And so you got to think the Disney, The Little Mermaid, you got Aladdin, you got all these situations where these girls are going to meet a prince, they're going to fall in love, and then they're going to live what? Happily ever after. So that was a form of media programming that influenced that generation. Now, if you were born in the 90s or later, you see, okay, I could be cute and I could get me a baller. I could have no skill. I could do a sex tape and I could get a reality show.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian, most of the housewives. Don't get me wrong, some of them are talented. Like what's the one? Candy. She already had money. Some of these, so that's not discounting all the women from these reality shows. You got Married to Medicine, where a lot of them actually have jobs.
They're actual
doctors. I think there's a couple of them over there that aren't, or maybe one or two, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, they're just doctors' wives. But
still,
one of them is the EP of the daggone show. It was her idea.
So I mean, like, in those situations, I get that, but to the masses, what they're seeing, they're not seeing like, oh yeah, like, you know, so-and-so got a real job, so-and-so. They're more so enamored with the individual that is the most ignorant acting on the show, typically. And that person normally has the least amount of qualifications background. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nene Leakes was a stripper, right?
She was a stripper.
Okay. And that's nothing against the strippers,
Greg came and found her, and he was
she got chose and she got saved.
Yeah.
And nothing against, and check this out, nothing against strippers. But why is it that Usher and all these people, we got people making all these odes to strippers? Why not an ode to some females that teach? Why not an ode to women that lead?
Because listen, we gonna go there right here, right now. Most guys want freakideeks.
No.
Most guys want a girl with a big butt who can twerk and be free.
No,
I know
that's
so
not
many
true.
men.
There's a lot of men. That's not true. We want a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
No, but that's the thing. I even know church dudes who they like, man, she couldn't put it. First of all, you should, according to the word of God, you shouldn't be fornicating. She really wasn't able to put it down. She wasn't able to pop her booty like that. So all these guys get enamored. They want a girl who can do delicious type things. And what's her name? Super freak. What was her name? Superhead. They want a girl who can do superhead thing. And they're like, I want my wife to be able to do that. And when she can't, and they have guys, well, yo, she was able to do this. Yo, shorty was lace. And look at her like this. They get enamored. Y'all men gotta stop thinking with the below head.
So
think with the above head.
But you generalizing all men. Now,
I'm not generalizing all men. But there is a large percentage of guys nowadays.
Not that many.
Very large that likes
we are not going to agree on this.
The real.
There's a lot of men that like. We're not even talking about.
They like that twerk, but freaking deep type chick. They want her to be stacked, move it, shake it. There are some men who have zero qualifications for how a woman thinks. As long as she look good, they like, yo, shorty bad. Look at my chick, she's bad.
So, but the
that
thing
is what men think about.
So the thing is, you're talking about celebrity men. When you look at the everyday man, you don't see the everyday man with that kind of chick.
Child, please.
You're wrong. And when you look across,
come on, bring it in, cover girl. Tell the truth.
When you look across everyday America, you really don't see men with these kind of men. And actually, when you see those kind of women, typically, those kind of men are not trying to bring down the kind of home to their mama.
But they be trying to get rings though. They be getting rings.
If they get a ring, you gotta be willing to take them home to mama. Now these celebrity dudes will do that. And then matter of fact, I'll use my proof fast and then we'll move on to the next thing because I don't want to run out of time. Look at the basketball player that's married to Tiana Taylor, right? Can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Iman Shumpert.
Yeah, Iman Shumpert, right? So Iman Shumpert, he's on the Breakfast Club. So okay, he's attracted to Tiana Taylor. I'm pretty sure he married her for reasons outside of the fact she's sexy, but I'm pretty sure that's a part of it. She likes doing threesomes, right? She puts their business out on the Breakfast Club. Now, I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, he liked the fact that his wife a freak and she do all that, right? Because the whole idea is you want a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. But once you start taking the freak stuff that she does in the privacy of their bedroom and telling the Breakfast Club, he is not embarrassed. Watch the interview. Don't take my word for it. He's embarrassed, even says he's embarrassed. And he says he's embarrassed, why? Because my mama had to hear that. And I don't want my mama hearing what we do in our bedroom. So the truth is, do some of these guys want that and desire that? Sure they do. But the thing is, the idea of you putting it all out there for the whole world to exhibit and see and take in and look at and divulge into whatever degree they want to, most men don't want that. They want it in the house, but they don't want it for everybody to see. Now, there are a select group of men, and I'm going to call them a select group.
I'm going to say...
Hold on. I'm going to say a select group. They'll do it because, you know, that's what they want. But there's a lot of guys, if their girl go outside their house half naked, they're going to be like, can you put some more clothes on? The same way, y'all want men that look a certain kind of way, that's built a certain kind of way, but he can't wear those gray sweats outside, right?
I mean, come on, women. Except men from all spectrums. I know women who are in great shape, look great, and they with, you know, a regular smuggler, Teletubby type dude, but I mean, he providing, so they're like, okay, women are more prone to look past the looks than men are. Men are definitely more about looks than women are. You gotta look a certain way. Like, I know so many dudes who would like a chick who may not be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. She may look like really regular, and her friends are like, she not bad at all. She look like a mud duck. Like, she got a struggle face. Guys make it a point that you have to be attractive, but forget about their attractiveness. They just want you to be attractive. They want you to have a nice body. Forget about they're shaped like an ant or shaped strange or have erectile dysfunction. They want you to have all the assets because at the end of the day, society places value on how a woman looks and society places value on people look on how men can bring home the money. You could be there are a lot of celebrities that we can agree on are not attractive at all, but they got money. Thus, people are like, oh, they sexy. Because Jay-Z is not sexy. Period, point blank.
But the same way you talked about the pressure thing, right? So just because it's exhibited in looks primarily, or I guess more recognizably, I won't say more so, it's more recognizable on women. But at the same time, there's an undue pressure on men. And this is part of the reason why we had these sexual allegations and stuff we were talking about before, is because there's pressure on a man to sometimes make money that's not even typical. Like if you look at the GDP of the country, I'm sorry, I think it's like 40-something thousand. So that's the average money earned. Average person is making for around $40-something thousand a year. But women want somebody who makes six figures. That's actually abnormal. To find a man that makes six figures is abnormal. But every woman that wants a man that makes six figures. Every woman wants a man that could take them on a trip to Paris. But that's actually abnormal because if you're making $40,000 a year and a flight to Paris is $2,000, then now already I've taken almost 5% of my income for the year to take you on a trip. So you can't have one without addressing the other. But moving on to the next step.
I agree with that. See, the difference between him and guys, I agree. Women do want lots of guys to have money. That's true.
But it's unrealistic.
It's not a gold digging type of women.
It's unrealistic, right?
Yep, I can admit the truth. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's like, it is what it is.
He has a problem with the truth.
No,
I'm rooted in the truth, baby.
No,
Listen, let me tell you, that's true.
I'm about the truth. But the other thing we want to talk about, right? Because there's some other types of jaded people out there. Wanted to touch on this.
She said she looking for that credit score. I have good credit. Sis, let me tell you, a good credit score will take you far, right? Won't he do it?
Yeah,
yes, a good credit score is
good credit score is good to paying bills on time.
But there's some people who go for the drug dealer who ain't got good credit, but they got cash.
Because they
come with that wallet, like, here you go, sis.
Gucci bag.
And they can't, so.
But, you know, moving on. We've seen some situations. There was the kid at the protest. The Native American, the indigenous people.
Okay.
We saw him smirking and harassing the Native Americans that was there. We have the man that forced the young child, well, he wasn't young, but he was like a teenage young man at a wrestling meet. Told him to cut his locks, even though he met the standard to wrestle. All he would have needed to do is maybe pin his hair up some more. Mm-hmm. He didn't need to cut his locks. And we see countless situations where people have, or even the situation with the college situation, people paying their way to the college scam. Mm-hmm. So this is what have come out that the young man that was brought up on CNN and all over social media, he's now suing all of these. I think he's suing CNN and MSNBC for like $250 million a piece. I think one is like $300 million because he's saying that they defamed his name. After he was the one that wanted to be smart and, you know, be rude to a Native American man and an elder on top of that and a World War vet, and the list goes on. Then you have the coach who told that young man to cut his locks that he had grew for so long. That's a part of his culture. That's a part of his heritage. That's a part of what he looks like. Told him to cut his stuff. He is now suing because of people making him look bad for his racist actions.
No, you made yourself look bad.
And now you also have some of the parents caught up in the college scam saying, well, it's not our fault, it's affirmative action's fault. Because if it wasn't for affirmative action, we wouldn't feel the pressure to go pay this money and to do these illegal things to get our kids in school. So let's go educate all this real quick. First of all, you can't be racist, actually commit a racist act, and then somehow think you're a victim. You're not. You didn't. It wasn't people that defamed you because it went viral. That's the era we live in. We don't. If that's the case, then I need Trayvon Martin's parents suing whoever put pictures of him to try to make him look as evil as possible. Because they've been doing that to black people forever. Right? Someone gets innocently killed by police or in a situation, and what happens is you see a flood of pictures come out on media sources trying to paint this person in the most harmful light possible to give credence to why they died. That's why we have the Black Lives Matter in the first place, because you don't care about the life, you're trying to actually minimize the life being gone, so you try to put out pictures of him looking evil as possible, right? That's stupid. So that moves that one away.
And then most black people don't even have the money to even lawyer up anyway.
Exactly. So, now, and then the other thing, even with the school thing, the affirmative action. Affirmative action, a lot of times, does more damage to people in the black community than it does anyone else. And I know a lot of you looking like, oh my God, how do you figure that? Well, this is how we figure that. A lot of times when you see like a Harvard, MIT, the various Ivy League schools, because of affirmative action, what they have all now done is they assume they get the smartest and brightest from the hood. Not the dumb person.
Yeah.
They get this is somebody who is incredibly smart despite all odds. They always look for him in the hood. They don't look for him in a middle class family.
Yeah.
Even though white kids from middle class families are still getting scholarships, it's a fact. it's nothing against white people. I'm just saying, just stating facts, right? People from all walks of life are getting scholarships, but for some reason, when you're trying to allow them few black kids you let through the door, if they're not from super rich families themselves, or maybe the few people that actually benefited from the paper bag test and stuff like that back in the day, so now they got some wealth, maybe to pass down to the last 2 generations. You guys are typically looking for someone who has the worst. Their mama got to be a crack hoe, daddy got to be locked up.
So they can write it in the little newsletter on.
They talked about this on Blackish, right?
Yeah, they would write it on the little newsletter like, oh, you know, Sandra came from impoverished area. Her mom was a drug dealer. Her dad is in jail.
You have to be the stereotype of what they want you to be.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from the hood. I had a situation just recently.
And we helped refine her here at Harvard University.
You want to take credit for her smarts that she already had. Keep in mind, she earned her right to that school. He earned the right to that school. But once again, for the sake of your story, you wanted to find someone from the worst story possible. Now, I'm not mad that they got that scholarship. By no means. But let's not act like the elite whites in America are suffering because of that. You're not. But
question. But because they are primarily going to the hood to select those students, isn't that also a good thing? Because now, in their mind, they're thinking that we're evening the playing field of people who are poor. And this helps them hopefully build a legacy that they're not poor anymore, but although we know it's not really equal.
So it's good, but then it's not good, because then what happens is, with affirmative action, what happens is a lot of times they just meet their black quota.
Well, yeah.
Right? So you got one person in the office, or sometimes they don't even have any black people, they have a white woman, and they feel like, all right, we're diverse now. And I feel like Marianne Williamson, she's running for president, she made a good point about selecting a staff for the White House, which is, just because you say you have a White House that's diverse in appearance doesn't mean that it's diverse in thought. So look at Ben Carson. Look at Betsy DeVos. Is this not a black man and a white woman in the Trump administration?
They have no business in either
but
of those
there is no
positions.
diversity here in their mind as far as how they look at the greater issues of America. So what we have to get past is...
You got thumbs up. Go on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So what we have to get past is this whole notion that just because I'm filling my black quota or my diversity quota, so I let one white woman in, one Asian person in, is that somehow we now have diversity. And when you get one black kid from the hood, you're still not doing your job. Because if the idea is that you want the best and brightest at Harvard, at MIT, at Stanford, name your choice of Ivy League school, then you should be wanting the child that is the smartest, period. Now, if that person's from Compton, pick him up. If that person's from inner city DC Southeast, pick him up. But at the same time, if he's black and went to St. John's and his parents are from uptown, he should still go too if he meets the qualifications.
Right.
Stop stopping at the door and saying, all right, I got just enough and I close it up. That's not enough.
Right.
Right? The standard of what we call excellence should go beyond just saying I fill a quota.
And you know, it's funny you said that because I went to a PWI for undergrad and I applied for all types of internships and just couldn't get them. Mm-hmm. The semester, y'all, I promise you, I'm not lying. Guys, I went to Spelman for one semester as a domestic exchange student. I had internships offerings galore. Was able to go to California for the whole summer. You know why? Because like Juan just said, when these Fortune 500 companies want to hit their quota, making sure that they meet the standard to, hit their diversity quota, they go to HBCUs. They don't even go to a lot of HBCUs. They go to one. They go to Spelman, Howard, Morehouse, Hampton. They go to the main ones.
Maybe a few others.
And they literally say, oh, we gave out 5 internship opportunities to black kids. And then literally when you're...
But you got hundreds of others going out to folks that look just like you. Yeah.
Because guess what? On my internship, I'm thinking, I'm going to meet a whole bunch of kids who look like me. All the black kids came from Spelman and Morehouse at the same internship that I went to. Why is that? Back to Juan's point, they lazy with it. I get it. They feel like, why do I need to go and search? I'm going to just go to a Black Excellence HBCU. I'm going to interview. I'm going to hit my black quota, and then I'm done. So then all the black kids that go to PWIs that are not commonly known schools, who are equally as smart, they're not going on this. They're not getting the scholarships to the Boeings and all the Fortune 500 companies. So it's unfair.
I mean, we're running out of time, but before we get off, I want to address another thing, and it falls in the line of this conversation, right? I want to talk to. We had put a post on the nitty gritty. It was last week or just a few days ago. We talked about what white people could do better, right? For dismantling systematic racism and stuff like that. A lot of people had a lot of thoughts to it. I'm gonna keep the answer real short for you. If you want to know how to do better with dismantling racism in America, systematic racism, disenfranchisement, misogyny, anything, how we treat people that choose a sexual preference, whatever, get off the darn sideline, right? I'm getting tired of seeing people film someone getting jumped or someone getting called a nigger, right? Or someone in another community being called something that is disrespectful to that community, right? You're filming it and you're putting it up, and in some cases, that is the thing to do. If it's and in the case of the police, you can't go pull the police off of somebody because you might get jacked up too. That could be conceived as assaulting a police officer. So in those instances, yeah, I think you should just film it, and then we'll get that person up out of there whatever way we can. But if it's just a situation where you see a guy on the street, another civilian, and he's harassing somebody of color, don't sit there and not say nothing. Don't go crying to your Facebook about, oh my God, that was so horrible. No, do something in that moment. Say, hey, stop. Same thing with guys. You want to stop misogyny at your job or at your school or whatever? You don't got to go beat a dude up because he's harassing a girl. A simple, hey, bro, that's not cool, normally stops it. Just addressing the issue, using your mouth to address the issue, not your thumbs. To your friends.
Or your thumbs. Maybe you have insight, connections to the legal office or the state office. That can help too.
But if you see something going down, call 911 too. If you see a fight or whatever, if you want to really dismantle something, if you want to really stop something systematically, get off the sidelines. It's just that simple.
There's a saying that says, if you see something, say something.
Say something. Do something. We see it all the time here in DC.
We have 5 minutes left, and I'm going to run through it really quickly. Yesterday was the NAACP Image Awards. We want to shout out Anthony Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross for receiving Best Comedian or female comedian and male performance. Amari Hardwick won for Best Male Drama Performance.
That was dope.
Mahershala Ali. Yeah. No. Is her last name Ali? No, not Mahershala.
Oh, you talking about the young girl from
Black she got recognized for being the youngest EP ever. Because she has
14 years old for EP on Little.
And then also Black Royalty was in the building. Apparently Jay-Z and Beyonce were both there. Yep. They both got honored for best, I think, dual rap performance.
He got the President's Award as well.
Yeah, so
Jay-Z did it.
It was just from what I saw and read, it was a night of Black excellence. People looked great. People were having a great time. It was great vibes. Congratulations to all the award recipients. That's dope. I would love to attend the NAACP.
I like the fact, I want to see our elitists from the culture celebrating events and attending events intended for the culture. We don't have to get upset. One thing I can applaud Jewish Americans and Asian Americans especially is, it's if it happens, it does, but I can't recall a march put on by Jewish people or Asian Americans to be treated better or for their culture not to be appropriated. They just simply keep it to themselves. If there's an Asian American version of NAACP, none of you ever heard of it. But guess what? They taking care of something, right? Same thing for the Jewish community. And I applaud them because they've managed to be pro their heritage. In doing so, they're not anti-others.
Yeah, it's funny you said if there's something, why don't we attend it? Because I remember when the BET Awards used to be really popular. Now I feel like, when's the last time we seen big celebrities, A-list celebrities win a BET Award?
Yeah, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. So I applaud that attendance, and I hope that becomes a trend and then a tradition of our community again, to where we go where we are. Amy, what's up? Speaking of white allies,
and I also want to say,
that's what's up.
I also want to say, when Drake spoke at the Grammy Awards, and he was saying that the award itself, it may be seen as the step of honor or badge to say that you've made it. It really is subjective. He's right, and so I want to encourage all creatives to continue. If you're a podcaster, if you're a singer, continue putting out your voice, your media, your content, because one day it probably will get discovered. You never know. But don't be so pigeonholed on I have to have a Grammy or I have to have an Oscar, because at the end of the day, you know, it's subjective.
And people are buying your records. Anyway, they listening to your records or whatever. That's all the Grammy allowed you to do.
And it's skewed anyway. We don't even have equal representation voting on all content across the sphere. So it's not like we're gonna have a lot of black people, like people who are voting on the Oscars are not gonna watch, let's say for instance, Power or something like that. But I know Power is a show, but you get what I'm saying. They're not gonna watch, what's the all black movie? They're not gonna watch The Best Man. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Or we don't have enough votes coming from that demographic. Exactly. So look, IG's about to cut out. Look, we appreciate all you for being on. Yep. Once again, prayers to Nipsey Hussle and his family. It appears he has passed away due to a shooting in LA in front of his store. So prayers to them. I'm pretty sure we'll hear more about that. But you know, thank you guys for all joining the nitty gritty. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And we about to be out. Did you have something else, Kat?
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was getting there. All right, yo, but it's your boy, JD Costa.
It's your girl, Katniss.
And together we are
the nitty
gritty.
Woo,
I'm struggling today. Yeah, I am hurting. But look, while we out, I'm going to play some Unwrapped Band, Beautiful. This is the version of it. And we out of here. And, yeah, we out. Appreciate y'all for watching. This is my jam right here, though, for real. I like the original version.
Yeah.
Hey! Yo!